Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I actually have a special guest with me and her name is Diana. So I'm going to put up all of her socials down in the description box below. I am going to have her kind of introduce herself so you guys know what exactly this video is going to be about. But if you guys follow me on Twitter, I kind of have been letting you guys know what I wanted to do. So I brought Diana in and yeah, we're gonna have a very, very fun video. Mind my voice, so please don't mind my voice. I sound like a man. I went out this weekend. Well, not like out, but I was on vacation with my family and my voice went away. So I sound like a dude right now. But thank God I'm not gonna be doing all the talking. She is, but we're gonna just have her explain kind of what she does and then we'll get into detail with everything that we're doing. So.
Okay, so hi guys, my name is Diana. I go by Oneloveastrology, and what I do is professional astrology services. So I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with your sun sign. You know, she's a Leo. She loves everything about Leo and she's familiar with that. But what I do is look at your birth chart, which is basically a map of the sky the moment that you were born. So we take into account your the exact time of birth, your date of birth, and the location, so the city and state that you were born, and then based off of that specific moment, there are all these planets in the sky. So if you think back to astronomy, Jupiter, Neptune, and then in astrology, we also use the sun and the moon as major indicators of your personality, and we're going to be looking at all of that today. So I have Blanca's chart on here, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her personality and what the stars say about her. I've been practicing astrology for about 7 years now, so I'm pretty familiar with it. So, I mean, hopefully you guys get some good information about Blanca from this video.
So I was really excited when, the way that it all started out was I actually saw Diana's Instagram probably, like 3 weeks ago? 3 or 4 weeks ago? Maybe a month. And I reached out to her, and like you guys already know, if you're a follower that has been, you know, with me for a while, I've always been one to very highly talk about how I'm so proud of being a Leo, and that, you know, I felt like I did have a lot of personality traits from a Leo. So when Diana kind of told me that she could get really into, basically into depth about my actual personality, I was super intrigued, and I was like, okay. I told her, I was like, let me bring you out here and we will do a whole video about it just to kind of help you guys also understand. I felt like it was really, really interesting. You guys are not just going to obviously see the positive traits because she's going to go really into my chart, and we're basically exposing my birth chart and the good and the bad and the not so cute and ugly of my birth chart. So I definitely want you guys to be able to just kind of get to know me a little bit better and maybe help understand why I am the way that I am. Also help me understand why I am the way that I am, because I feel like there's times sometimes when I don't get why I might come off a certain way or why I act a certain way. So she's going to get really into detail. I am going to put my birth chart on here so you guys can follow along with us. And yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. We are going to be like chit-chatting in between because I definitely want to be able to get like a good perspective of everything as well. So hopefully it's not too long. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. She says she talks a lot. You guys already know I ramble and I ramble. But I definitely want to be able to just kind of get really personal in this video. So yeah.
Okay guys, so excuse if I look at the computer throughout this video. I'm just looking at her birth chart, and then hopefully you guys will be able to see it somewhere on here so you guys could see what I'm talking about. So let's get started. So in astrology, the 3 main legs to your chart are going to be your ascendant sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign, which obviously you would know by your birthday. So with Blanca, she actually has a Scorpio rising, and the ascendant sign and the rising sign are the same thing. The ascendant sign is going to tell you about the natural vibe that you give off. It tells you about your look, so how you like physically look. And it also tells you about the role that you had to play in early childhood. So with Blanca, she has a Scorpio rising, which means that she naturally puts off this intense, powerful energy. She's very magnetic. And Scorpio is associated with sexuality, so there's something really sexually appealing about her. She turns heads, right? She could be wearing like a a turtleneck and you'd still turn heads. So they're just natural. They have this natural sexy vibe that they carry. But the other thing about Scorpio rising, because Scorpio is a sign that has to do with extremes. Like it's pretty black or white, and I think a lot of things in your life have been either like at extremes or like pretty black or white. So you're either going to be committed in a relationship or you're not. Like you don't want nothing to do. You're going to either be 100% like with your friend and have that loyalty, or you're not. Like there's nothing in between. And even your emotions, every area of life could be on one extreme or the other. So the other thing though about having a Scorpio rising is because she carries this natural, intense energy, people are automatically going to either like her or they're not, just by looking at her. And sometimes with Scorpio rising, it's just that they carry this intense stare. So she could even be smiling at people, but like Scorpios have this penetrating look about them to where some people it's intimidating, or some people they find it interesting and they like get obsessed with her. So she could either have people that are super stalkerish in her life, or people who just hate her. Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense. Because, I mean, most of the time, like you guys know, I've always had people tell me that they thought that I was stuck up at first. Like, even just looking at me. I mean, people don't really know me online. They just kind of see what they see. You know, and people are always like, you should smile more, like, in your pictures, because you're actually a lot nicer, but you come off sometimes a little stuck up. Which I never understood why, because I always felt like I always tried to bring my personality out there and be very bubbly and very friendly and very like out there, but that makes sense. And I didn't even know that I had any type of Scorpio in me. My mom's a Scorpio. and
that usually happens. Usually your parents' sun sign ends up being your rising sign, or your parents' sun sign has a large present in your birth chart. So even though you guys just know your zodiac signs or your horoscope sign, whatever, that's only like maybe 5% of your personality, because everything else is dictated by the other planets. So anyways, going back to your Scorpio rising, since Scorpio starts off your chart, it tells us about your early childhood. It tells us about birth. It tells us about the role that you had to take on as a child. So I think the reason that you got a Scorpio rising was because you had to learn to be very wary of your surroundings as a child. Your mother probably was very like protective of you, and you kind of like were taught to live in almost paranoia, like watch your back. And it could be because you grew up in a bad neighborhood, or it could be because your mom was just really, really overprotective, that she almost made you insane by all the stuff that she told you, and instilled some type of fear in you, that you always have to like watch out for people, because people are either going to take advantage of you, use you for something, or kidnap you, you know, to that extreme, right? So
that's my whole life.
And you know, that's kind of the energy that you unconsciously give out to people, that you're always being very wary. And maybe that's why that plays into maybe why some people don't really like you at first, because they kind of sense that you're watching, like what are you doing, like what are you going to take from me, you know?
Yeah.
So that also has a lot to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Though with Scorpio, like every zodiac sign has a planet that's associated with them. So with Scorpio, the planets that are associated with them are Mars and Pluto. Mars is aggression, so that gives the Scorpio rising, they're very protective and they're very resilient. So you can get knocked down in life. If you think about a Scorpio, you can kill them, you can beat them, you can throw hairspray at them, a scorpion, the animal, and they won't die. So that's kind of how you are in life. You're very like resilient to a lot of things, and you always get back up. But the other thing, because you're ruled by Pluto, that's your power. And your Pluto is in your 12th house. In astrology, we have, you're going to see the wheel, right? There's 12 sections here. And these 12 sections are known as a 12th house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so these are different areas of life. So the 12th house is the house of your subconscious. It's what's behind, what's in the back of your brain that you don't see. So anything in the 12th house, you have to bring conscience. You have to bring forward and be like, oh, I am aware. So having Pluto there, you carry so much power and you don't necessarily see it. Sometimes, because the 12th house is the house of dreams, this can mean that you have really violent dreams. Sometimes even really like sexual dreams. And it could mean that when your mom was pregnant with you, she could have like suffered a lot, or she could have gone through some type of abuse, or there could have been a lot of intense energy when your mom was pregnant with you, that then was like passed on to you when you were in the womb of your mom, and you kind of carry that in your subconscious. So like you're very guarded, and it could sometimes mean like that you, to an extent, are very powerful, and people don't want to fuck with you because you can be their worst enemy.
Don't fuck with me.
So the major thing though about her being a Scorpio rising is that she has to learn how to trust the world again, because I feel like you've been let down by a lot of people, and that's what goes into you having your guard up. So the other thing though, let's change here, since you were talking about your mom, let's talk about your moon sign. Okay. So the moon sign in astrology is the heart of your chart. It's going to tell you about how you naturally respond to things. It's going to tell you if you're compatible with someone, can you live with someone. It's very instinctive, and it's kind of where you resort to for your emotions and all of that. So Blanca has her moon in Aries, and Aries is known to be very, very reactive. They're very impulsive. They can be very impatient. But at the same time, Aries is full of energy. They love excitement. They love to like take on new ideas, though they are notorious for having these great ideas and not necessarily going through with them because the passion ends, or they get really burnt out easily because it's idea after idea. They need to be in a state where they're constantly stimulating. Their brain is constantly stimulating because they get bored easily. Yeah. You want to, like, you guys are adrenaline junkies. You guys want to go out there and like have fun. You guys want to party. You guys want to go out there and like spark up the fire. Like that's a really good placement because it's a fire sign. Though moon in Aries, they're really sometimes quick to anger, or they're quick to just react, like I said. So if somebody like makes you mad, or somebody comes at you the wrong way, you're going to be quick to swing, whether it's with your hands or with your like words, and you can get like really defensive. Now,
which kind of sucks being in the public eye sometimes, because unfortunately it could either be a good thing or it can bite me in the ass. You know what I mean? Because I would hate to come off as, you know, aggressive or defensive, or like I can't take. A lot of people think that in social media it's like it's because you can't take criticism, but in reality it's not that I can't take criticism. It's just I'm constantly thinking that I have to defend myself and like my character and the person that I am. You know what I mean?
You know, at the end of the day, the good thing about having a moon in Aries is that they're either the bullies or they stick up to the bullies. So I think with your personality, you're a person that will stand up for like what you believe in. And if somebody's getting bullied, you'll be like, what are you doing? Like, you know, you'll go up to them. And we need those kinds of people. We need people that can voice what people normally bite their tongues with, you know, and you're that person. A moon in Aries person is always going to be very protective, and they're also going to be pioneers. They're going to make great leaders. And at the end of the day, the moon in Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, right? So there's like this really strong inner child in you. At the end of the day, you just want to be heard. You just want to be acknowledged. You just want to be understood because you're like this baby. Yeah. And having being a Leo too, you have this strong inner child that you just want attention, all of that. And it comes from a good place. I mean, if you look at a baby, they're cute and they're very like, they just want your attention. They want to love you. So if you are ever standoffish, it's because you technically, subconsciously or consciously, you do want to get people's attention. Right. So for example, with your husband, which we'll talk about in another video, you know, if you're ever like throwing a tantrum or something, or I don't know, being moody, it's really because you want him to go up to you and hug you, but you're not going to say that. You're just going to be like, go away, I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, so moon in Aries.
Don't sound too bad.
So the moon in Aries is really good in that sense. Now, then let's talk about the houses, because your moon is in the 4th house right here, but it's headed into the 5th house. So this could be interpreted both ways. So moon in the 4th house is the private part of ourself. It has to do with our roots, where we came from, our family, and the mother. So obviously your mother was very protective. She was somebody who was very on top of you. If you didn't do what she said, she'd be like, Blanca? Like, you know, it was just that, like your name, like, you know you have to do it. But at the same time, the 4th house, it could mean that you have a really close relationship with your mother, that you were very sheltered. But the 4th house, because it's our private self, having the moon there, which is your emotions, how you really feel, how you, like, you know, if you're gonna cry, all of that, it's in the house of the private. So she's gonna not show her how she really feels. She's probably a very sensitive person having the moon in the 4th house. And she could also be a little bit moody, yes, but she definitely feels a lot of things, but she keeps it also very internalized. She doesn't want anybody to see, because Aries doesn't want to be seen as weak. They want to be seen as strong, and the people that will go out there and fight your battles, even if you don't want to fight them yourself. So everything that she feels is very, very private.
Yeah, that's my whole life.
So you're never going to see her cry.
No, in that last video where I'm pregnant, like, even I wasn't even going to post that. You know, when she made, I saw the video where she made me cry.
Yeah.
And it's not even because I feel like if people cry, they're weak. Because, I mean, I have a lot of people around me who are very emotional, and, you know, they're like that. I don't think that it's a sense of weakness, like, when I witness it. But to me, I feel like I do like to feel like nothing can bring me down.
Yeah.
And the moment that I show weakness, it's like I'm giving them that power over me.
And you don't,
you know, and I wouldn't allow that to anybody, not even just like a friend or even with my spouse, you know, which is something that I feel like we're doing another video with Lisa's, but something that we're going to be able to get into, that I feel like it's something that has been a problem, because it is important for you to show that you feel and that you have feelings and that you're actually a strong person. But I feel like it all kind of also reflects on my mom, because she was like that. And I don't know if that's like the Scorpio in her, but she always taught me to like never show any type of weakness to anybody. Like, you are gonna show the world that you can be this strong person, you know? So like I took that up like growing up, and I absorbed it, and it's just kind of been how I've been. But I mean, I don't feel like it's a bad trait to have, but it is sometimes in situations where it's like with your spouse or with like a close friend, where you need to kind of let that guard down and let them feel like I have feelings too, you know? But
yeah, I feel like if she were, like, she doesn't have any water in her chart, like, except her Scorpio rising, but then again, Scorpio is very guarded. So if she had more water in her chart, I think she would appear maybe a little bit more empathetic towards you guys, instead of being super happy-go-lucky all the time, or like full of energy and excitable. But I think that's why, maybe that's why you get some of your, like, you know, haters, because they don't see that empathetic side of you.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily because you're not empathetic, because you do feel very, and you protect, oh my God, when in the 4th house, they protect people who she does let in after, you know, she puts them through tests, because I'm sure you do that, because she's in Scorpio rising. It's people who pass her test and she knows that they're real, she's really going to take it and protect them for life. And if somebody fucks with them, oh my gosh, he'll come after you with your fucking chancla or something.
Yeah. No, that's like describing me to the T.
So
it's so crazy, guys. Like, I know hopefully some of you guys are as interested as I am into this, and you guys even can follow along if any of your guys' like signs aren't in these
positions.
Orders.
Yeah.
But it's crazy when you know that you're this type of person. That's when you start really believing it, and you're like down. You know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that you guys are able to meet her, because like I said, she's on social media and she does all of this. So if you guys are interested in knowing your guys' birth chart, like, she does this. This is what she does. She can read you guys, but you're gonna get to know and kind of understand yourself at a different level, because you can tell, you can say like, I'm the strong person, I'm this and this and that, but then you kind of doubt and you're like, oh my God, but why do I kind of act like this? So when she points it out, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy. Yeah.
This has a very like psychological feel. If you guys are familiar with Carl Jung, he was like a famous psychologist. He was very into astrology. Look it up. Look up your birth chart. Like, I do sell readings, but you can even Google birth chart calculator and you'll be like surprised just by looking up your moon sign. Okay, so let's change gears a little bit. Let's talk about Blanca's Leo side, right? So Blanca's a Leo. So as we all know, she's very like fun. She's lovable. And she has her moon going into the 5th house, which also rules Leo naturally. So the 5th house, by the way, rules children, and the moon is associated with Cancer. So it makes sense why baby Max is a Cancer. Because the 5th house tells you about the characteristics of your children, but it also is going to make you a bubbly person. Like, you know how to brighten up somebody's day. When somebody, and also being a Leo, when somebody's sad, like, you'll get them ice cream, or you'll entertain them, or do something funny to try to bring them out of sadness, because you just want positivity. So you're really good at radiating positivity being a Leo.
My niece is over here laughing because
But she's not only a Leo, she's a sun in the 9th house. And the 9th house is normally associated with Sagittarius. So you could say that you're kind of like a Sagittarius, and plus they're fire signs, so it's a little bit similar, right? So having the sun in the 9th house means that you could have had a father, or you could have, like, the authority figure in your life could have been somebody who was very into religion, or like being super, like, I don't know, Catholic. I don't know how you were raised, but that was really instilled in you. To the point where maybe they because you do have the sun squaring, which squares are these like red lines that you see here, and squares are basically planets that are not getting along. They're like planets that are fighting with each other. So it's squaring Pluto. So it could mean that you're, as a sun in the 9th house, you need your freedom to like learn about whatever you want, believe, like go out and expand your knowledge as far as like astrology or philosophies. And your there could have been power struggles within your family where they didn't allow you to do that. They were like, no, there's only one way to think, Blanca. Go to college, get your master's degree, and get a good career. And they didn't let you explore beyond that, which that's what you need to do as a sun in the 9th house. You need to explore and learn about as much information as you want. And the 9th house is the house, like I said, of our belief system, but it's also the house of the questions that are not answerable. So I'm sure, being the sun in the 9th house, you're kind of a person who's always like questioning things, or like if something shitty happens in your life, you're like, okay, you know what, after, you get over it and you're a little bit dramatic about it, you're like, okay, it happened for a reason. It was meant to take me on this next purpose. So I don't know if you could talk to that and how that relates.
No, that the whole necessarily like religion thing, I don't think my mom or my dad were ever forceful about it, but there was a time in my mom's life where church was everything, and she says that it basically saved her. I don't want to talk too much about that, but you guys will know soon. But she basically says that church saved her from herself. So growing up, it was more in the sense where I feel like she just didn't understand the differences in life. It was just kind of like, you're meant to be a little bit more, not even necessarily with college, but you're meant to be a woman who gets married and has children and is your typical Mexican traditional, like you were in this world to be a woman to your husband and your father, and she was very like that. So I don't know if that kind of like would play in a part where she wanted me to be like this perfectly perfect person, which I feel like in a sense I did become that, because out of like all my sisters, I'm like the only one that got married, and after I had a boyfriend and then got married, and then after married my children came, and then after children, I didn't move in with my boyfriend. Like it was all very like planned for me, and it was never I was never resentful towards it or anything, or like blame her for why did I become this. But everything that I've done in my life to where I'm at now is because I knew that that's what she wanted, if that makes sense. In a sense where I knew that it was going to make her and my dad or my family members proud, if that makes sense. But I do think that that's kind of like where that's reflecting on with how I was raised.
Well, that's another thing about the 9th house. So you were mentioning like publishing your book, and like the 9th house has all of your life experience, and usually a lot of people with planets in the 9th house, they want to publish because the 9th house is where you see teachers to any extent. So Blanca is going to be a teacher to you guys, but with makeup, and with her life experience. Like she went through these things in life. She learned stuff from them, and hopefully then she could teach you guys, because you carry a lot of natural wisdom having the sun in the 9th house. And you're also somebody who's like super, super intelligent, and you question things. Like a lot of great philosophers, like Buddha, let's say, like that would be super 9th house. People who like see the bigger picture is very 9th house. And on top of that, you have this Leo stuff that's going to make you super optimistic. You see the positive in everything, and you're fun to be around. Like the Leo is the party, like animal of the zodiac. They love to have a good time. And so is the ninth house. So our ninth house people, they want to go out on adventures, whether it's traveling or they want to go out and party and have the next adrenaline rush, because the moon in Aries is also going to make you an adrenaline junkie. So that's like your wild side of your chart as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say about the ninth house. But I want to talk about the third house too, because this contains your Saturn. Guys, in astrology, Saturn is going to tell you about your karma. It's going to tell you about the thing that you're here to kind of master, but your difficulties as well. So Saturn in the third house, which the third house is communication, knowledge, it's early school, it's the questions that can be answered, it's more factual based, whereas the ninth house is more belief and truth based, whether, you know, whatever your definition of truth is. So anyways, she has Saturn in the third house. So I want to say that you're somebody that you don't want to look stupid at all. You want to know what the fuck you're talking about. Like you're somebody that you really process what you're going to say and how you're going to say it. You don't like it when you stutter. You like to almost have a plan in your mind of how you're going to say things, and you're really hard on yourself with that. And like early school, sometimes this means you could have had trouble speaking at first, or trouble with some type of learning or communication at first. This could also have, because the third house also rules siblings, this could also mean, on the other hand, that there's an age gap between your siblings, a huge one, like where they're much older, and they could have also taken a lot of part in your life in raising you or being the authority figures in your life. So
yeah,
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, me, when I was in school, I didn't speak English very well because I was raised with nothing but Spanish.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if you guys did this in your guys' school, but they had you like in the, what was it called? The ELD programs, where they send like all the bilingual kids to teach them how to speak English properly. Yeah. But, so that might be where you're speaking in the sense of like my childhood. But now as an adult, there's been times when I've probably recorded my videos like 3 times because of how I sound, or even like a lot of people always call me out on like why I don't ever talk about like politics or like what's happening with like, you know, the government, or like, you know, when the situation was happening with like the border in Mexico and like all those things that are very, very important topics. And I feel like I feel a lot, like I feel a lot of emotions, and I feel like sometimes I talk out of my ass and I say how I feel. Yeah. That I don't tend to put it out to the public because I don't want to sound stupid if I say something wrong. You know what I mean? I don't think that I'm trying. I in a sense I want to continue to have this image that people see me as somebody who's very knowledgeable and that knows what she's talking about. So I feel like the moment that I speak, I'm gonna speak out of emotion and out of my heart and how I feel, that some people might not take it the right way, you know? Yeah. And being in the public, like on social media, you have all eyes on you at all time. Like I can speak my mind if it's in a conversation, in a group conversation. If me and you are having a conversation, I'm with friends, like I will voice an opinion. But the moment that I feel like I have to do it publicly, that's where I shut down and I think things like over and over and over again. Like I will sit there and be like, should I actually say it out loud? Because somebody's gonna call me out on it. Yeah. So that's like me to the T. Like I literally will edit my videos and I'm like, so if I say something stupid, like I'll like, even if it might not be stupid, like I will take it off just because I feel like somebody's gonna take it the wrong way or make me look dumb. And that's even with anything, like even like the people around me. Like I can have a conversation with my niece and I'll automatically get defensive about something, and like the first response is always like, well, don't think that you can make me look stupid because I'm not dumb. Like it's always like looking stupid. Yeah. Like I don't know what it is about me not wanting to feel dumb. Like yeah. But the thing about Saturn, I don't know. I don't understand why that's always it. Even with Lisa, it's like I'll be like, I'm not fucking stupid. Like I know what I'm talking about. You know, like I get very defensive when people make me feel dumb. Yeah. No. Yeah. The thing about Saturn in the third house though is that like the person is not stupid at all. They say that Saturn is like, oh, super, super bad. No, Saturn wants you to work. So Saturn in the third house can mean a person is actually really intelligent. They have a lot of focus.
because they take their time on things, whereas other people, they just put out garbage, where you are just like very cognizant about everything that you're doing as far as writing or, you know, speaking. And I'll get to, and it's kind of good that you stay away from politics and stuff like that in religion, because as having so much planets in the 9th house, when you have so much planets in the 9th house, like your sun being your ego and who you are, your beliefs are your beliefs. Like, no, you're gonna shove things down people's throat and people are not gonna like it.
Right.
Yeah, and on top of that, like, then you're gonna be thinking and thinking and thinking because you have Saturn in the 3rd house. But
she actually pointed out something earlier to me where she was saying that there's ever situations when I do speak my mind and then I regret it after. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know that I'm very opinionated on there, and I'm always very like, I say what I feel, and I've always felt like Twitter was like that place for me where I always use it kind of like a private, like a little diary where I just like, I tell you at that moment, if I'm like, I'm fucking irritated, like I will post, I'm fucking irritated, you know what I mean? So I know that a lot of people might wonder like where that person's coming from, but I just feel like there's times when I just like let it out, and then eventually like I'll start thinking and I'm like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have responded that way, or maybe I shouldn't have reacted that way because maybe they didn't mean it that way, or maybe whatever the case is, you know. But that's just something that I'm very like, if you piss me off, like I will tell you at that moment, but then like the me will come to start to think, and then I'm like, shit, I'm like, okay, maybe that came off wrong, you know? And that's with everything, even like my arguments. Like if I'm arguing with Lisa's, you know, I'll tell him how I feel. Yeah. Like, you're fucking irritating me, you know? Yeah. And then like later I'm like, shit, like I'm sorry, I didn't know that I was gonna like hurt your feelings, you know? Yeah,
that's the thing about Moon and Aries, like people, they're so quick to react, but then they get over it in like 10 minutes. You just need time to like let it out. So it's really important for Moon and Aries people to be like physically active, like go kickboxing, go throw plates at walls, to let out that energy, because there's so much like intense energy with the Moon and Aries. So let's change gears and talk about, or actually I don't know if you want to comment on your sister thing, like, you know, Saturn in the 3rd house, how your siblings.
Oh yeah, the siblings. Yeah, so she was mentioning that it shows on there that my siblings were obviously big figures in my life, and my mom, she, you know, raised her kids, and she wasn't around much because she was always working. She was always making sure that she was providing. So my brothers, there is a big age gap. My sister Vivian, the one you guys always see, is the one that I grew up with, the closest. There's a 10-year difference between her and I. And then my brother Eric, there's a 7-year difference. So there's a big gap between us. I was never the little sister. I was always like a daughter to all of them. Anytime I would get in trouble, I would never just hear it from my mom and my dad. Like I would hear it from my brother, my sister, my brother, and my sister. Like they would chew me out. If I was in trouble in school, like they were all ganging up on me. They were all telling me that I needed to be like in school. They were all telling me that I needed to get out of trouble. Like they were never siblings to me, ever. I'm telling you, none of them. My dad, my brother, I actually for my wedding dedicated a father-daughter dance to him because they were never like my siblings. They were never like a brother. And anytime that you guys hear me say like, oh my God, I don't want to post like a revealing picture or like showing my ass or something, like it's always because my brothers follow me on social media, and it's like, I know people are like, well, why would you think that that's like your brother shouldn't think of you like that? And it's not even that. It's like the respect. Like I know that they don't want to see their little sister like ass on the internet, you know what I mean? So I'm always very, very, very particular about what I post. Even when I was pregnant, just to not talk too much on it, but when I was pregnant, I posted a picture of me, and you can kind of see that I was wearing like a thong, but it was like the side, right? So then I was showing my belly, and mind you, I'm thinking like, I'm really cute, like my stomach is cute, and I look so adorable, blah, blah, blah. So I was showing my belly, and you can see like, obviously the shape of my body. So my birthday was coming up, and then we're all on a group text, my 2 brothers and my 2 sisters. So when they sent the group message, my brother messaged me, and he's like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? I know it's coming up. And then my older brother responded and was like, maybe some clothes, because she's been missing some lately. Oh my God. You know, so they're like that. You know, they're very protective, very like, don't make yourself look like a dumbass. Don't make yourself look like a fool on the internet. Don't be those girls. Like, I literally hear it every day. Like, every day. Like, my brothers are like the worst all the time, but they're definitely like father and mother figures in my life. But yeah, that's crazy that even came up on there. I'm telling you guys, astrology is so accurate. It basically depicts your childhood.
I want to talk about her 10th house, guys, because this is her public image. So the 10th house, or the midheaven, the MC line, has to do with what you show on Instagram, or what you show on YouTube. It's sometimes known as the second ascendant, but it doesn't necessarily have to look with how you're naturally born, like your ascendant, like how you were naturally like popped out of your mom, you know? That's your ascendant. But your midheaven has to do with what you consciously want to show to the world. Your career. This has to do with the reputation that you want to leave. So she has a lot of planets in her 10th house. She has Mercury, Venus, and Mars. This is perfect for her because she's on YouTube. A lot of people who have planets in the 10th house are widely known by people. They carry a huge social media presence. So she has Mercury really close to her 10th house, which means that she is here to teach people. If she wasn't like on YouTube, I would tell you to be a broadcaster or on the news or on telenovelas or something. Yeah. Because you need that public image. And Mercury on the 10th house, you want to this can sometimes mean that this person can chat away. They can talk, and they want to be remembered as somebody who was like well-spoken, somebody who was really smart. So this goes back a little bit to the Saturn thing, that she doesn't want to be seen as stupid. She wants to be seen as somebody who's intelligent, because probably authority figures in your life, your mother, your father, your brothers and sisters, the authority figures were the ones that told you, like, Blanca, intelligence is key. Yeah. You need to make sure that you're very, you sound intelligent when you talk. All of that, and education could have been something really instilled in you. So there's that. And then she has Venus right on top of her midheaven, which is beautiful because Venus is the planet of love. It's the planet of beauty. So she wants to be seen as beautiful. A lot of times, especially Venus and Virgo women are usually the models out there. They have nice symmetry to their faces. They're Virgo is associated with the archetype of the maiden. So that's like the ideal woman for a man. So you are that, you're just gorgeous, and this, your chart, if I didn't see a picture of you, your chart would tell me that you were just this really pretty girl. So you're really blessed. And then
you see all
yeah. Yeah, but here's the thing. Venus is a sign that's very self-critical, okay? So this tells me that you're very hard on yourself, or there could have been a point in your life where you were really insecure or had a little bit of self-esteem issues because you didn't think you were pretty enough, even though, and that's what you really wanted to be. So now you work at it, it's not like you were naturally made attractive. You were naturally born attractive, right? But you really wanted to take it to the next level because somehow in your childhood people told you that having looks was going to get you far in life or something, or being pretty as well as being smart was going to get you far in life, and they instilled that in your brains somehow.
Yeah, we should bring my sister here. Okay.
Yeah, the authority figures. And so you really work hard, with the way that you dress. That's all in your 10th house. Fashion is going to be important. Makeup, and it's good that her career is basically revolving around makeup because Venus is all of that. The only thing I would say, like I said, Venus in Virgos, people can be really insecure and never feel like they're enough because they always feel like there's something to improve on. If you ask a Venus and Virgo, about something that they would get fixed if they could, they would be open to it because they always can improve on something.
And is that something that is going to be? Is that something that could eventually be a trait that is bad? You get what I'm saying? Because they're never going to be satisfied, if that makes sense, with being 100% content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think.
You know what I mean?
I think they just have to get to the point where they let it go and they accept themselves for who they are because they're so critical. And sometimes this can, because she has Mercury, you have Mercury in Virgo. And Venus is also how you love, so this is going to affect relationships. So I don't know if in your past you dated people who had issues, who you almost wanted to date people who were little projects to you, so you could fix them. You're gonna
I'm fucking dying.
You know what? It's okay. You're gonna cheat on me. You're gonna be mean to me. But there's a way to fix this. And you're very patient. So.
Oh God, my whole life. No, I'm kidding.
That's the thing. And sometimes though, this could mean, Blanca, that there is a little bit of shallowness to you. Because you notice when people are pretty, and you notice when people are not. You can be very
It's important.
Yeah.
It's something that has been important
Yeah.
Because in my whole life, it has been, and you know what's crazy though about that? That at one point in my life, it wasn't important.
Yeah.
But I feel like, just in speaking in the facts that you guys know in my videos that I've posted before, I was in a relationship prior to Ulises where looks were always something that was targeted. Like, you're not pretty enough, you're not cute enough, you're dark. Like, I used to get called dark all the time, like tan. Like, I was like really tan, and like, I don't know if this guy just really liked himself like a fucking like straight white girl or whatever, but it was something, no, I'm serious, like, it was something that was always like brought up. So then to me, it was just kind of like, okay, well, I'm not that person that this person wants me to be. Eventually, when I obviously got out of the relationship, I met Ulises, which was the complete opposite. And he put me like on this, like, he turned me from here to like here, you know, he put me on a pedestal where you're going to talk about that in our next video, where he's very, in a sense, kind of shallow as well, because he is all about looks. Yeah. And he put me into this pedestal where it was kind of like, you're beautiful. And like, I would hear beautiful like every day. Like, there was never a day when he wasn't like, you're just so beautiful. So to me, it just became this important thing where I was just kind of like, oh my God, I need to look good all the time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's crazy that, you know, because at one point, like I said, I didn't care about that stuff. Yeah. Until it was like, you're not good enough, you're not going to do this. And then turning into like, well, I am that, and I'm gonna become that. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna be the perfect person because I know that I can be, if that makes sense.
But I don't want you guys to think that Blanca is shallow, because here's the thing about,
defend me.
Here's the thing about Virgo energy. She has all these planets in Virgo, and Virgo is the sign of helping other people. They are so selfless. They want to do the little things for other people. Son detallistas. Yeah. Yeah. They like, if somebody like needs to get picked up, I don't know, from the airport, you're gonna be that friend that's there. Like, you're like very helping to other people. Like, you're just, I don't know, Virgo is a very nice sign, but they're also very, very practical. And on top of that, you have Venus conjunct Mercury, which is how you talk, your communication, your thoughts. And Venus is love. So you talk to people out of like love. Like, yeah, maybe you joke around a little bit harsh because you have your moon in Aries. Right. But you really are this sweet person. You want people to love you. Having Venus in your 10th house, it really will affect you if people don't love you, because you try to put out that energy. Right. The thing that kind of makes people maybe not be so in love with you is your Mars in the 10th house. Okay. Because Mars is your aggression. It's what you're passionate about, your drive. So obviously you're going to put all your drive and your energy into your career. You're a career woman. You're a boss. You're meant to have your own business, because if you were working in a corporate America job, you probably would have issues with your authority figures, with your bosses. Like,
I always did.
Yeah, like you can't.
I don't like people telling me what to do.
Yeah, you have to be your own boss, having Mars in the 10th house. But this also goes onto social media and everything that's public. People are going to know when you're mad, because you're going to be quick to put it out there that you're mad or something bothered you, and that's what can kind of rub people the wrong way.
Which has gotten me in trouble a couple times, because like I said, I always get the you can't handle criticism, why are you online, like, why are you getting so upset, why are you, just let it go, or don't bring it up, or like, why are you talking about it? But I don't talk about everything, you know what I mean? Like, it's when it's gotten to a point where like I just can't take it, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel, because I feel like I have the right to be able to express my feelings and tell them exactly how I feel. But by that point, I've already built so much in that it's gonna come out in a very aggressive way, because I'm just upset now. You know what I mean? I don't talk about it in a way where I want you guys to understand. I kind of like shove it down their throats. Like, you need to know exactly how I feel, and you're making me feel like shit. Yeah. You know? So, and that's like even with my mom, my sisters, everything. Like, anytime that I'm already at the point where I'm ready to talk about it, like, it comes with aggression.
So, basically what I want to leave Blanca with is that she really needs to surround herself with people that have a lot of water and air, because she doesn't have a lot of planets, personal planets in water. So being surrounded by water people like Cancers, Pisces, or Scorpios are really going to help her get in tune with her emotions and teach her that feeling is okay, and show her empathetic side, because we know that you're a practical person. We know that you want to be needed in relationships or in friendships. You want to be the person, the reliable one that's always there for people. You want to help people out with their projects. Like you're definitely not a person that can't take criticism. You can take criticism as long as the delivery is well presented.
Right.
Because you know that people always can improve themselves. You know, you have Mars in the 10th house as well. The 10th house is your public image. So eventually, if you want to get really fit and get like a big old booty and have this really athletic toned body, you have that in you. You are a Scorpio rising and an Aries moon. Your Mars ruled. That's like the athletic person. That's the one that can like get ripped and get like the big old lasso. Anyways, so Blanca knows how to take criticism.
Coming for you.
But she definitely needs more water to needs to be surrounded by water, like your baby. He's gonna teach you about that vulnerable side of you, you know.
He already has. Every time I tell people like he's changed my life, like I feel like he opened up a different side of me. He doesn't even talk yet, you know what I mean? But just the fact that he's so like, I could already see the Cancer in him.
Yeah.
Like, he's just so like, he's just gonna be an emotional kid. Like I could just feel it, you know what I mean? Just the way that he is. And even when being a mom in general, like I know you're a mom, so I know you know what I'm talking about, but you just see this different perspective of life. Like I used to be very about my friends, my family, my party, going out, having a good time, and it's like now I've learned to know what's actually important.
Yeah.
You know, and like it took me becoming a mom to kind of realize those important things.
Yeah, Cancers, Pisces, all of that, they're going to teach you about that like deep emotional side. And then air signs, you know, your niece over there, she's in a moon in Aquarius, so it's good that she's around that energy, because air signs will teach her how to express herself better, how to work on your delivery when you're communicating with people, to like be like, okay, watch how you say this, because they are more cognizant of what they're saying and their thoughts, and instead of being so impulsive.
Because you did mention that, she said that whenever I speak with people, I believe in them so much that I sometimes am very blunt with it. Like say like my niece, you know, I get a lot of shit about her because people are like, you're so mean to her, you know, and I don't even think it's me being mean to her. It's just I believe in her so much that in her like her project, her becoming somebody or doing something, and when I see that she's not doing something about how she's feeling or not doing something to better herself or do something, then I come off as very like, get your shit together, like you need to do it like now, you know. I come off very like, well fucking do it, like stop complaining, you know, rather than me being like, well, you know, if you want to follow your dreams, like, you know what I mean? I don't. I'm very like, I fucking believe in you because you can do it, so do it, you know. I'm very like,
Blanca has a lot of fire in her chart, so she's going to be the one that lights a fire under your ass and it gets you going. And sometimes you need people to push you, because if you're too much of a water, you're too much of an earth sign or an air sign, you're just going to be thinking about things or crying or feeling bad about yourself, whereas fire signs are just like, go, do it. Like you would do really well in a stressful situation, because you know like how to react quickly. You're like, you make moves. So Blanca, oh my god, she's great for inspiring people, for motivating people. You should like be a Tony Robbins of the beauty channel. Of the beauty channels. But yeah, I think Blanca has a really beautiful chart. She is supposed to be a boss woman. She's doing what she's supposed to be doing, and she's a person who is going to be very inspiring. So when you come out with your book, people should read your book, because you can teach a lot of things. And
and that's, a lot of people were asking me like what it was going to be about, and it's not just about my life, you know, because everybody's like, well, there's stuff we don't, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you guys don't know about my life, but it was meant to be an inspirational book. And just like anytime that I talk about things, I always do it in a motivational way, where I want to share things with people and show you guys that you can do something, even with, you know, the people around me. If they believe in something, it could be the stupidest thing, like they're gonna be like, I'm gonna go and become a fucking like ladybug catcher, you know, and I'm gonna be like, dude, like imagine you just caught like a bunch, you know, like I'm that person that no matter what the thing is, like I'm gonna create, in my head I build like this freaking empire of a ladybug creator. You know what I mean? Like I always think bigger than what it is. And I feel like that's why I also like to surround myself with people who have the same goals and the same ambitions as me, because I feed off of people. And the moment that I feel like somebody's being lazy around me or not motivating me or holding me back from something, I don't have a problem not being around them, because I need to be around people who are pushing me as well as I'm pushing them. you know, but I learned a lot about myself.
Well, that was her birth chart, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to book a reading with me, you guys can go on my website and she'll put my website information. Yeah. I think I'm probably going to get a lot of readings, so just give me time because over here Blanca's a Leo celebrity, so.
No, yeah, we're really excited. Like I told her, I feel like if you guys are interested, I know a lot of people are more interested after this, and this is why I kind of wanted to expose my birth chart. I already knew a lot of these things because I have already been speaking with her about them, and I told her I didn't want her to be like easy on me or make me sound like anything more than what it is. I wanted to be vulnerable, let you guys know my everything, you know what I mean? Like you guys are probably getting to know some of the things that I never really like to talk about, or give you guys, I guess, like the idea that I am a sensitive person or that I could get triggered easily, because I didn't want to put so much out there because it's going to target me to have people want to maybe attack me for whatever reason to make me feel like they can now. But it's crazy when you guys actually just listen to your own reading, because you really get to know exactly why you react to certain things and how to fix it. I feel like now, even after this reading, I messaged her and I told her, I was like, you kind of put things into perspective for me, where I feel like now I know what I have to do and who to surround myself around with, and kind of what to do to just kind of make myself like chill out, you know? But I'm excited. We're also going to be doing a part 2 to this video. She's actually going to be reading for the first time. This is the first time we're going to hear my compatibility. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're going to look at her chart and Elisa's chart, and see how their planets interact with each other and why they're in love and why you guys love them as a couple, because they have. I'm
excited. We haven't done this one. We haven't heard this one, so I'm excited. So we're gonna actually film the second video. This one's gonna be up. The compatibility one's gonna be up on Thursday for you guys. So like I said, I'm going to link all of her information. Make sure you guys show her some love. Go follow her on social media. And yeah, I'm excited. But thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it so much. And yeah, so I'll see you guys on my next video. Love you guys.
Bye.